An army captain is sent up a jungle river on a secret mission. Find a decorated colonel who has gone insane and kill him. Apocalypse Now, 1979, is Francis Ford Coppola's Vietnam nightmare, and making it nearly destroyed everyone involved. Martin Sheen plays the haunted Captain Willard. Marlon Brando plays the rogue Colonel Kurtz. Robert Duvall plays the surf-obsessed Colonel Kilgore. Dennis Hopper plays a strung-out photojournalist. Coppola directed it deep in the Philippine jungle. Willard rides a small patrol boat upriver, sinking further into madness with every mile. And the ending you think you saw might not be the real one, because Coppola shot an ending he later tried to erase. Stay to the end to find out. 20 facts, counting down. Fact 20. A typhoon destroyed the sets and shut the film down. Coppola built elaborate sets deep in the Philippine jungle. Partway through, a massive typhoon tore through and wrecked half of them. Production stopped cold for about 2 months. In the film, Willard pushes upriver through a world that feels like it's falling apart. The jungle presses in on the little boat from every side. Willard watches the war dissolve into chaos around him. The disaster on screen was matched by a real one behind the camera. Fact 19. The star had a near-fatal heart attack in the jungle. Deep into the shoot, Martin Sheen collapsed with a serious heart attack. He was only in his mid-30s, far from any real hospital. The crew were so worried about more delays that they publicly called it heat stroke. In the film, Willard looks worn down to nothing, sweating and hollow-eyed. He drifts through the story like a man barely holding on. Willard's exhaustion never once looks like acting. Some of it wasn't. Fact 18. The opening breakdown was a real drunken spiral. The film opens with Willard falling apart alone in a hotel room. Sheen was actually drunk while shooting it, on his own birthday. He punched a mirror for real and cut his hand, and Coppola kept the cameras rolling. In the film, Willard weeps, shadow boxes, and smears blood across his own face. The whole scene teeters on the edge of control. Willard's meltdown is one of cinema's rawest openings. Very little of it was pretend. Fact 17. Brando showed up overweight and hadn't read the book. Coppola was paying Brando a fortune to play the lean, sinister Kurtz. Brando arrived enormously overweight and admitted he hadn't read the novel the film was based on. He didn't know his lines either. In the film, Kurtz is meant to be a wasted, ghostly figure. Coppola had to rethink the entire role on the spot. Kurtz became a huge shape looming in the dark. The problem became part of the character. Fact 16. They had to hide Brando in shadow and shoot around him. Coppola couldn't show Brando's full body without breaking the illusion, so he lit Kurtz almost entirely in darkness, just a gleaming, bald head floating in black. Much of Brando's dialogue was improvised on the spot. In the film, Kurtz murmurs from the shadows, barely visible. He whispers his famous last words, "The horror, the horror." Kurtz feels less like a man than a voice in the dark. A casting disaster became the film's eeriest choice. Fact 15. The helicopters kept flying off to fight a real war. The US military refused to help with the film, so Coppola borrowed helicopters and pilots from the Philippine government. But the country was fighting real rebels, and the pilots kept getting called away mid-scene. In the film, the helicopter attack is one of the most famous sequences ever shot. Willard watches a village torn apart from the air. The choppers sweep in over the water in perfect formation. Between takes, those same machines flew off to an actual battle. Fact 14. A real animal was killed on camera. The film ends with a brutal ritual slaughter of a water buffalo. That killing was completely real, performed by a local tribe as a genuine sacrifice. On American soil, it never would have been allowed. In the film, the slaughter is cut against Kurtz's death, a shocking, deliberate parallel. Willard carries out his mission as the ritual unfolds. The images are almost unbearable to watch. What you're seeing actually happened. Fact 13. The director nearly lost his mind and his fortune. Coppola poured his own money into the film as it spun out of control. The endless delays pushed him to the edge of a breakdown. He reportedly lost around 100 pounds under the stress. In the film, that same sense of a world coming apart runs through every scene. Willard sinks deeper into darkness the further he travels. The chaos on screen mirrored the chaos behind it. The film almost took its own director down with it. Fact 12. The first star was fired and everything reshot. shot. Coppola originally cast Harvey Keitel as Willard. About a month in, he decided it wasn't working and let him go. Martin Sheen took over, and everything already shot had to be filmed again. In the film, Willard is the still, watchful center of the story. It's impossible now to picture anyone else in the role. Willard's haunted calm anchors the whole journey. The part was almost someone else's entirely. Fact 11. Coppola shot the whole thing without seeing it. The film was shot in the Philippines, but the footage had to be processed back in the United States. That meant Coppola couldn't watch his dailies on set. He filmed for months, essentially blind, with no idea if it was working. In the film, every frame looks carefully composed. Willard's journey unfolds in image after unforgettable image. The confidence on screen hid total uncertainty behind it. Coppola was flying blind and somehow landed a masterpiece. Fact 10. The whole film is secretly a 100-year-old novel. Apocalypse Now feels like it sprang straight from the Vietnam War. In fact, it's based on Joseph Conrad's novel, Heart of Darkness, written back in 1899. Coppola moved the story of a river journey to find a madman into Vietnam. In the film, Willard's trip upriver follows the old plot almost beat for beat. He hunts a man who has set himself up as a god in the jungle. Willard's mission is a very old story in a brand new war. A Victorian novel became the ultimate Vietnam film. Fact 9. A future star was just a teenager on set. One of the boat crew is played by Lawrence Fishburne. He was only 14 when filming started and lied that he was 16 to get the part. The shoot dragged on so long, he practically grew up during it. In the film, the young sailor called Clean is all nervous energy and bravado. He mans the boat's guns like a kid playing soldier. Clean's youth makes his story especially hard to watch. A teenager spent years of his life lost in that jungle. Fact 8. One actor was too wired to remember his lines. Dennis Hopper plays a manic, babbling photojournalist. Drugs were passed around the set constantly, and Hopper was in no state to memorize anything. So Coppola let him improvise almost his entire performance. In the film, the photojournalist spills out a stream of half-mad chatter. He circles Willard, twitchy and grinning and lost. His rambling fits the character perfectly. A performance he couldn't remember became unforgettable. Fact 7. The director's wife filmed the chaos in secret. While Coppola battled the jungle, his wife Eleanor documented everything. She recorded the breakdowns, the disasters, and the private threats to quit. Years later, that footage became a famous documentary about the making of the film. In the film, none of the off-screen collapse is visible. Willard's story unfolds with total control. The calm on screen hid a production tearing itself apart. The real horror story was the one Eleanor caught on tape. Fact 6. The shoot stretched past a year and a half. Most films wrap in a couple of months. This one ran for around 16 months of actual shooting. The cast and crew were trapped in the jungle far longer than anyone planned. In the film, that endless quality bleeds into the story. Willard's journey feels like it will never reach its end. The river seems to stretch on forever. The exhaustion on screen was earned the hard way. Fact 5. The real military wanted nothing to do with it. The Pentagon read the script and refused to help. A story about an American officer sent to murder another American officer was too much for them. So Coppola turned to a foreign government for his hardware. In the film, the war machine looks vast and terrifying. Willard moves through fleets of helicopters and gunboats. None of it came from the U.S. Armed Forces. The most American war film ever made got no American support. Fact 4. Coppola shot enough film to bury an editor. He kept the cameras rolling on everything for months on end. In the end, he had well over 1 million feet of footage. A normal 2-hour movie uses only a tiny fraction of that. In the film, the final cut feels lean and hypnotic. Willard's story flows without a wasted moment. Behind that tight film sat a mountain of material. It took years just to carve the movie out of it. Fact 3. There are 4 different versions of this movie. Coppola could never quite leave the film alone. Over the decades, he released several different cuts, each a different length. One later version added nearly an hour of scenes back in. In the film, that restlessness makes a strange kind of sense. Willard's journey can expand or contract depending on the cut. Each version tells the story a little differently. Even its own director couldn't decide where it ended. Fact 2. It won the top prize at Cannes while still unfinished. Coppola took so long editing that he blew past every deadline. He showed an unfinished work in progress at the Cannes Film Festival. Even incomplete, it won the festival's highest award. In the film, the ambition is obvious in every frame. Willard's descent feels vast and operatic. The jury saw greatness in a film that wasn't even done. A rough cut beat every finished film in the competition. Fact 1. This is the ending Coppola shot and then disowned. As the film closes, Willard finishes his mission and slips away down the river. But Coppola also filmed the second ending, where an airstrike blows Kurtz's compound to pieces. That fiery footage played over the credits of some early prints. Audiences thought Willard had called in the strike, and Coppola hated the confusion. He insisted it was never meant to be the real ending and had it pulled. In the film's true finish, Willard simply drifts away into the dark. The famous explosion, you might remember, was a mistake its own director tried to erase. Most people have no idea the ending was ever in doubt. From a typhoon to a heart attack to an ending its own director tried to bury, Apocalypse Now nearly destroyed everyone who made it. Out of that disaster came one of the greatest war films ever put on screen. Subscribe for more secrets hiding inside the films you thought you knew.